here at Galerie Monnin, a beautiful place, and this lovely lady next to me, who's tall enough to be standing next to me, is one of the owner of Galerie Monnin. Well, listen, those of you out there, the diaspora, looking all around the world, Galerie Monnin is a place to visit. Let's introduce yourself and the gallery itself.
Thank you. My name is Gaël Monnin. I'm third generation of the Galerie Monnin tradition. We opened first in 1956 in La Grande Rue, Boulevard Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Then we moved up to Pétionville. And now we keep on going up the mountain, and we're up in La Boule d'Isselle, so which was for me, this I think is my favorite spot here because this used to be my grandparents' home, and then eventually we lived in there. They've passed, and now it was an opportunity. The house is free to turn it into a gallery, so we're very excited to invite people to come visit us here in La Boule.
Well, it's a great view. I mean, I was coming up here and then I realized, the house is a gallery, like you said. Now, you have different artists. How do you get the artists to their artwork?
So we've been around for a long time. Okay. So our reputation precedes us. And so we've had, I would say, really at the heydays of tourism and where Haiti was sort of, in the 80s, avec un pouvoir d'achat, how do you say, a buying power that was quite with the sophisticated tourism. We did very well. We even had a shop at the Club Med. So there was a real relationship at the time. That was my parents were taking care. My dad had the real role of with an exchange with the artist, like a real curator, with the dialogue between the artists. And my mom was the perfect, saleswoman, Jewish saleswoman. So it was the perfect couple. So we had at that time really artists exclusive to the gallery that we even call a bit the studio of the Galerie Monnin. And then eventually times change, things change. Exactly, a new era. My sister, who's an artist, there's some of her sculptures here. You've seen some sort of artworks inside. It was natural for her. She started befriending, all the more contemporary artists, and that's how they got introduced to the gallery. So that's why, like, if you see upstairs, I think we have about a variety of about 50 different artists. Even more, from the private collection to artists still producing today. So you can come here to the gallery and you can find something for literally $10.
Oh, really?
All the way up to, 10,000.
Of course.
The styles are very different, because I also collect arts in New York. And what I've noticed is that the Haitian artists in New York are somehow, do you see that, Valeria? The artwork that I see here varies. So what would you call their style?
So there's different, here that's the reality, which sometimes is a tough one to accept, is there's no really, there's not a lot of support in the community, the art community. So even the art school here, there's one at least, but it's not really, sometimes they don't even have materials, they don't even. So basically artists in general have tendency to either have the opportunity to work with an artist who's already established, so they have a tendency of imitating what they do at first, or then you have those that have access maybe to a few books or something, so that's their schooling. For example, one of the artists that I show here, he was our framer. He was our framer for 50 years, so that was his school, framing the art. And then one day he just said, "Oh, here, look what I do." I was like, "Wow, that's amazing!"
Wow.
So so now we. So this is, and then now more the contemporary artists. You have different. It's basically kind of linked to the education level that they've received, the opportunities that they get. Right. So way back when art started, probably in the late 20s, 30s, like that, and then the Centre d'Art in the 40s and the 50s. So they in general were the pioneers. They were literally the first ones to sort of put what they felt on canvas. So you have the Saint Soleil, which is they were communicating with communicating with the spirit world.
That's right.
And then
you have those out here. You have those some pieces.
So there was like Louisiane Saint Florent. She was one of the first woman painter actually. But in general, they're deceased. Now you have second generation, third generation.
You have some Marie Benjamin, and what other names you have?
Contemporary artists, very contemporary artists. We have Simil, that in general, Jean-Louis Senatus was part of the gallery. Then we have Carlo Jean-Jacques, Manès de Collines. We sort of have, we don't really have the early periods one, like, you know, Hector Hippolyte and the guys from Cape Haitian. But now we started really collecting from the time that we had the studio at the gallery. So, and then of course now more the contemporary artists, you know, Sébastien Jean, Kili, Pasco, you know, and then there's few emerging ones. There's some younger ones that are doing a good job.
I have another question now. If an artist is actually watching us doing this interview, and they're not really from here, they're in the diaspora, and they'd like to connect with you, how do they connect with you in terms of perhaps sell you their artwork or just displaying it here? You know, I'm sure they're probably going to say, oh, wow, this is great. You know, how do we get
an opportunity here, Galerie Monnin?
You know?
Yes, exactly. So, the best way to communicate is info@galeriemonnin.com.
Okay.
That's the best way, by email. For artists in general, we know, again, as you see, our collection is quite prominent, so we're not really searching for anything, but we always, of course, are curious, and if we receive an email with a lot of images, we'll definitely take our time to answer, to give a critique, or, you know, to see what's...
Yeah, because I do know there's a lot that's probably going to say, oh, wow, this is great, you know? Yeah.
Let's take a look inside. We're going inside now. We're looking at, it's a house, it's a home actually.
Yes.
We're looking at the stairs going up there, and wow, let's give us an idea of this place. Yeah, no, we're looking at the visuals now. Now, give us an idea of this house being a house, a home, and now being turning into a gallery. Your grandparents' home, amazing story, right?
So if one day someone tells me that I'm doing a good job as good as my grandmother, that will be the best compliment ever, because she was really a housewife, and we had animals in the yard, and the inside was impeccable with antiques and stuff like that. So that changed, you know. Artists lived in the property, and so. But now it was an opportunity, because it's the first time that no one was living in the house, and I wanted to kind of be able to share this property with, you know, outside people. That's why I was motivated to open the gallery. Soon we're going to have a cafe open where you'll be able to have fresh juices. My idea is to give a little bit of peace of mind, you know, because
so peaceful already.
Exactly, as we know, and it can be a little bit, you know, chaotic out in the streets.
Is it
when
very
you come in here,
accessible to tourists? Like if somebody come in and they really want to come and visit, is it accessible? Or?
Yeah. I mean, we just opened a few months ago.
Well, that's great.
It's word of mouth for now. Once I'm ready with the cafe, I'll do a big launch.
Great.
But I mean, yes, because you know, people come up the mountain to go see the view at l'Observatoire.
So there's a must stop here.
So it's becoming a must stop. And on the weekends, that's where we have more people when they go up to the mountains.
Which is great. So with ATH, Association Touristique d'Haïti, partnering with Galerie Monnin, I'm sure the diaspora, those of you watching all around the world, in New York, you know Tele Image. If Barbara can come here. Exactly.
Now, visit Haiti first and then come to the gallery.
There we go. It's a must. That's right. I was going to say, if Barbara is here, I mean, you love art. So
the galleries, I just love artwork. So this was a must for me.
And I'm hoping that, for example, for next season, for next jazz festival, to have some events here.
That would be great. You have the space for it.
Exactly. Yes. So good.
All right. So we're going to continue with the tour. We're looking at also, you have Art de Récupération, I think, outside there. I see something like that. That's great. We're going to show that a little bit of the yard, and of course, Tele Image right here on the spot at Galerie Monnin, accompanied by ATH. I think ATH has to be mentioned a lot, because we thank you guys from ATH to taking us here. Association Touristique d'Haïti qui a fait un super travail. À Citadelle, indeed. You got to plug in à Citadelle, indeed.